Hello, and welcome to Communicate to Lead, the podcast that empowers leaders and aspiring leaders to communicate with clarity and impact. I'm Kele Belton, CEO and successful entrepreneur, and your host for today. I'm here to equip you with all the essential tools and strategies to master effective communication and lead your team to success. As the founder and CEO of The Tailored Approach, my goal is to empower you to be the best leader you can be. So sit back, relax, and join me in today's episode as we dive into the art of communicating like a true leader. Right now, while you're listening to this, your manager is sitting in a meeting you are not invited to. They are talking about you, about your performance, about whether you are ready for promotion, about whether you'll get that raise. And here's the thing that's going to keep you up at night. Your manager isn't the only person in that room. There are directors, VPs, HR business partners, maybe even the CFO. And they are comparing you to people you've never met. They are asking questions about you that you've never been asked before. And by the time you find out what was decided, the budget is locked, the decisions are final, and you are left wondering why your hard work didn't translate into the advancement you earned. In today's episode, I'm showing you exactly how to influence those conversations when you are not in the room. You learn how to position yourself strategically, activate the right advocates, and create a business case so compelling that saying no to you becomes harder than saying yes. This is not about hoping your manager fights for you. This is about equipping them and everyone else who matters to fight for you successfully. Welcome back to Communicate to Lead. I'm your host, Kele Belton, and I'm excited to dive in with you today. Now, if you've been following along with our October episodes, you know we've been building something powerful together. We talked about protecting your bandwidth, how to prepare for your annual review, and how to answer that loaded question about your career goals. All that preparation matters most in the conversations you will never be invited to. If you think your performance alone determines what happens in those year-end budget meetings, we need to talk. This isn't about manipulation. This is about strategic positioning. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what to do in the next 2 weeks to set yourself up for the 2026 you deserve. Let's get into it. Here's what's happening right now in most organizations. Your CFO has given department heads their budget parameters for 2026. Those department heads are now working with HR and senior leadership to allocate those dollars. They are looking at performance data, comp ratios, promotion pipelines, retention risks, and strategic priorities. And here's the thing most people don't realize. These decisions get made in layers. It's not about one conversation. There are multiple calibration sessions where your name comes up, gets discussed, and either moves forward or gets deprioritized. Let me paint the picture for you. Meeting 1 is where your direct manager presents their budget requests to their boss. They are making the case for their team's needs. They are advocating for who should get promoted, who needs market adjustments, and where they need additional headcount. Meeting 2 is where directors and VPs meet with each other and HR to calibrate across all teams. This is where they are comparing your performance to people you might never have met. They are asking, is this person really a high performer compared to others at that level? Are they promotion ready compared to other candidates? Meeting 3 is where senior leadership makes the final calls. They are balancing budget constraints, strategic priorities, and political realities. Someone has to get told no, even if their manager fought for them. Your manager might be your biggest advocate, but they are not the only voice in the room. And if you haven't equipped them with what they need to advocate for you effectively, you've left your career advancement to chance. So let's talk about how you control what you can control. Here's the first strategy. Build a business case, not simply a performance case. The biggest mistake I see women in middle management make is thinking their performance speaks for itself. How many of us do that? You delivered on every goal. You exceeded expectations. You managed that difficult project. You mentored junior team members, and all that matters, but it's not enough. Budget conversations are business conversations. Your manager isn't just advocating for you because you are great at what you do. They are advocating for you because funding your promotion or raise makes business sense. So here's what you need to do, broken down into clear and easy steps. Step 1, build your offense. Quantify your value. Your first step is to translate your performance into business value. Numbers cut through subjectivity. When your manager is sitting in that calibration meeting and someone says, well, I'm not sure she's ready, your manager can respond with data. So go back to the wins you've been documenting. And if you haven't been documenting them, go listen to last week's podcast episode immediately and ask yourself, what was the business impact? Don't say, I successfully led the Q3 product launch. Here's what you want to say instead. I led the Q3 product launch that generated $1.2 million in new revenue in the first 60 days and is tracking to exceed our annual target by 35%. Don't say, I improved team collaboration. Instead, say, I structured our team workflows, which reduced project delivery time by 3 weeks and saved the company approximately $45,000 in contractor costs. And lastly, don't say, I'm a strong leader. Rather go with, I've been leading a cross-functional team of 12 people on the X initiative, which is directly tied to our 2026 strategic priority of expanding into the mid-market segment. Look at your work through these lenses. Every single accomplishment should have a so what attached to it. A revenue generated or protected, costs reduced or avoided, time saved across the team or organization, quality improvements like error reduction or customer satisfaction scores, and finally, strategic value, projects that ladder up to company goals. Step 2, build your defense. Frame the risk of inaction. Once you have your value case, you must also help your manager articulate the cost of not investing in you. This isn't about threatening to leave. This is about framing a legitimate business risk that affects retention, productivity, and team morale. Organizations lose money when high performers feel undervalued and disengaged. They lose money when someone who's been delivering at the next level for a year gets frustrated and starts doing the bare minimum. And they definitely lose money when they eventually have to replace you, even if it's 2 years down the line. Your manager needs to walk into that budget meeting and say, promoting Kele to senior manager isn't just about rewarding her performance. It's about retaining someone who's already operating at the next level and delivering measurable results that align with our growth strategy. If we don't promote her, we run the risk of losing her to a competitor, and replacing her would cost us 6 months of productivity and $80,000 in recruitment fees. That, my friend, is a business case. That is how you get funded. That is step 2. Step 3, choose your script, how to deliver your case. Now, how you frame this in the conversation with your manager depends on your situation. If you are committed to staying and building your career where you are, you can say, I want to have an honest conversation about my career path here. I'm invested in this team and the work we're doing, and I see myself growing here long term. For that to work, I need to see a clear path forward. I know budget conversations are happening right now, and I want to make sure you have everything you need to advocate for my promotion to senior manager. What information would be most helpful for you to have? If you have been passed over multiple times and you are genuinely frustrated, you also need to be honest. And here's what you can say. I want to be direct with you. I've been operating at the senior manager level for, mention the time frame of how long you've been doing this, and then continue. And I've been passed over for promotion X number of times now. I value what we've built here, but I need to see movement on this. I'm asking for promotion to senior manager in this budget cycle. If that's not possible, I need to understand specifically why and what the realistic timeline is, because I have to make decisions about my career. You are not threatening, my friend. You are stating reality when you are saying and sharing this with your manager. That is step 3. Here's step 4, your action plan for this week. First, schedule a one-on-one meeting with your manager specifically to discuss your career path and promotion. Don't try to squeeze this into your regular weekly check-in. Make it its own conversation. You can send a calendar invite with a subject line like career development discussion or 2026 planning conversation. Second, send your manager a brief email with a subject line like 2026 budget discussion, impact summary. And then in 3 to 5 bullet points, lay out your business case. Make it easy for them to copy and paste your wins into their budget justification document. Because here's what I know. Your manager is preparing their budget requests right now. They are stressed, they are overworked, they are overwhelmed. And if you hand them the language they need, they will use it. Don't make them hunt for your accomplishments or translate your work into business value. Do that work for them. And that was strategy 1. So here's strategy 2, activate your network of advocates. Your direct manager is your primary advocate, but they are not the only advocate you have. And in many organizations, they are not even the most powerful advocate you need. Budget decisions involve multiple stakeholders. So you need multiple people speaking up for you. Let me tell you who else is in those rooms. Your skip level manager, so your boss's boss, is often in the final decision-making meeting. HR business partners are in calibration sessions providing data, flagging retention risks, and high potential talent. Peer level managers and directors who you've worked with cross-functionally can vouch for your leadership and collaboration. And finally, senior leaders who've been exposed to your work on strategic initiatives can be powerful champions as well. Your job is to activate these advocates before budget season locks up. Here are the 3 key people to engage. The first one, engage your skip level manager. If you haven't had a skip level meeting recently, schedule one. You don't need a formal excuse. You can email them and say something like, "Hi, Scott. I'd love to get 20 minutes on your calendar before year end to share an update on the X project and get your perspective on priorities heading into 2026. In that meeting, you're going to do 3 things. 1, share a concise update on high impact work you're leading. 2, ask a smart question about their vision for 2026. And 3, express your commitment by saying something like, "I'm really energized by the direction we're headed, and I'm looking forward to taking on more strategic leadership in 2026. You are not asking for a promotion when you are having this conversation. You are making sure they know who you are and what you are capable of. So that is your meeting with your skip level manager. Here's the second advocate you want to activate: cross-functional peers. Think about the leaders outside your immediate team who've seen your work. Schedule a brief coffee chat or virtual meeting. And your agenda is to thank them for their partnership, highlight what you collectively accomplished, and mention that you are looking forward to that type of strategic work in 2026. Why do this? Because in that calibration meeting, when your manager says, "I want to promote Kele," another director can say, "Absolutely. I worked with her on X project and she led that initiative like a seasoned leader." That peer validation is gold. And number 3, align with your HR business partner. Get on their radar. Schedule a 15-minute conversation with your HR business partner and say, "I wanted to connect with you as we head into year-end planning. I'm focused on continuing to grow as a leader here, and I'd love to understand what the organization looks for in promotion-ready candidates at the senior manager level. I want to make sure I'm positioning myself well." You are now signaling to HR, the people tracking retention risks, that you are ambitious, self-aware, and a high potential talent they want to keep. Here is some language that you can use, because the key to all 3 of these conversations with your advocates is that you want to make sure that you equip them. They can't fight for you if they don't know what to say. This is crucial. After any significant cross-functional project or high visibility work, send a brief thank you or summary email to the leaders involved. Something like, "Thank you for the opportunity to lead X initiative. I wanted to share a quick summary of outcomes," and then give them a bulleted list of the following: specific results with numbers, specific results with business impact, or strategic value delivered. And once you've given the bulleted list, here's how you end that off: "I appreciate the chance to stretch my leadership in this area, and I look forward to taking on more of this type of strategic work." That's it. You are not bragging. You are equipping your advocates with facts. You are making it easy for them to fight for you when you are not in the room. That is strategy 2. where you're activating your advocates. Here is strategy 3. Create a paper trail that tells your story. Budget conversations rely heavily on documentation, performance ratings, self-assessments, manager notes in the system, compensation history, promotion eligibility. If your story isn't clearly documented, it's easy for decision makers to overlook you or deprioritize you when budget constraints hit. So here's what you do. Number 1, make sure your accomplishments are in your performance management system. Don't wait for your annual review to document your wins. If your company uses Workday, SuccessFactors, or any other performance platform, log in and update your goals and accomplishments now. Many managers pull reports from these systems when they're preparing budget justifications. If your profile is sparse or outdated, you'll be invisible in the data. Number 2, send regular progress updates to your manager. If you haven't done this, it's time for me to say it again. Send your manager a brief monthly or quarterly update email summarizing your key accomplishments and impact. Why? Because your manager is juggling a million things. They will forget the details of your wins unless you keep reminding them. And when they are preparing their budget requests, they'll scroll back through their email and pull directly from your updates. Make it easy for them. Use bullet points. Lead with impact. Number 3, document feedback from stakeholders. When a senior leader, a client, or a cross-functional partner gives you positive feedback, especially about your leadership, strategic thinking, or business impact, save it. Forward it to your manager with a note like, wanted to share this feedback from name of person, really appreciated the opportunity to lead X project. That feedback becomes part of your documented track record. And when your manager is advocating for your promotion, they can reference it. They can say something like, Kele consistently receives feedback from senior stakeholders about her strategic leadership. Here's an example from, and then name of person. Okay, so there you have it, your 3 strategies. But here's the reality. Even if you do everything right, you might not get promoted or get the raise you're asking for in this budget cycle. Budget constraints are real. Headcount freezes are happening all the time, and strategic priorities do shift. Your manager might fight for you and lose. If that happens, your work isn't over. Here's what you need to do. 1, get clear on the decision and the path forward. If you don't get promoted, ask your manager directly. I'm disappointed, and I want to understand what happened. Was this a budget constraint, or were there specific performance or readiness gaps that held me back? This is important to ask and have the conversation with your manager. If it's purely budget, that's one thing. If there are perceived gaps in your readiness, you need to know exactly what those gaps are so you can address them. So then ask, what would need to be true for me to be promoted in the next cycle? What specific outcomes or demonstrations of leadership would make me a clear yes? Get your manager to commit to a clear development plan and timeline. Do not let this be vague. Put them under a little bit of pressure so that you walk away with clear guidelines of what you need to work on. Number 2, document the conversation. After that discussion, send a follow-up email summarizing what you heard. And you could craft an email like, thank you for the conversation about the promotion. Based on our discussion, I understand that. And then mention whether it was a budget constraint or specific gaps, and tell them that what you will work on so that you are ready for the next promotion cycle. End your email with, I'd like to check in with you quarterly on my progress. Does that sound right? That means you are holding your manager accountable and creating a clear record of expectations. Number 3, decide if you are willing to wait. This is where you have to be honest with yourself. You know your situation. You've been operating at the next level for over a year or maybe even more, consistently delivering exceptional results, and the answer is not yet. Again, you have a decision to make. You can stay and continue proving yourself, or you can explore external opportunities where you'll be compensated fairly for the level you are already operating at. There's no wrong answer, but don't stay in a holding pattern for years waiting for a promotion that might never come. Your career trajectory is important. Your financial security matters. If you decide to stay, set a deadline for yourself. You could tell yourself, I'll give this another 6 months. If I'm not promoted by then, I'm going to actively explore other opportunities. You are not being disloyal when you decide to make this decision. You are being strategic about your career. All right. Let's bring this home. You've heard 3 powerful strategies today, but listening isn't the same as doing. If you do nothing else I've talked about today, I encourage you to do this one thing this week. Your single action step is to draft your business case. Open a document, write 3 to 5 bullets that connect your accomplishments to revenue, cost savings, or strategic priorities. This document is your core asset. It's the language you will use when you talk to your manager. It's the summary you'll give your advocates. It's the foundation for every other step that follows. Budget decisions are being made right now, and you can't afford to wait until December and hope your performance speaks for itself. It won't. You have to advocate for yourself strategically and equip your advocates with what they need and make the business case for investing in you undeniable. You've earned this. Now go make sure the people in those budget rooms know it. That's it for today's episode. If this resonated with you, take a screenshot and share it on LinkedIn. Tag me at Kele Belton so I can celebrate you for taking action on your career. And listen, next week, we're talking about something that's going to hit home: leading through gratitude fatigue. What to do when thank you isn't enough and appreciation doesn't pay your bills. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Until next Thursday, my friend, I am Kele, reminding you that great communication is the foundation of inspiring leadership. And for this week, remember, your seat at the table isn't given. You need to take it. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember to communicate to lead.